Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. In today's video, I'm digitally painting a troll, or I don't know what this is, but we'll call it a troll because what I'm going to talk to you about as I'm showing you a few paint techniques is I'm going to talk to you about my recent interaction with some trolls on the channel here. So I think it's pretty funny, and this will be more of a laid-back digital paint experience. So this isn't as tutorial-based as some of my other stuff. That's also why it's already partially started. But just so you know, this is only about 45 minutes into the painting, and I'll talk about that as well, how you can kind of speed through these things and sometimes create some pretty cool stuff pretty quickly. So at any rate, what's been going on, I've been doing a couple live streams. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. And I've been doing more tutorial stuff on my Gumroad and trying to get supporters on my Patreon so I can keep dedicating more time to my art and all that good stuff in the comic, and showing you guys more, stuff like this for free on YouTube. So, but with that comes the occasional troll, and it's like, I don't know, I kind of can't believe it. Like, really? I'm sitting here pumping out free content and trying to make it all fun and, give back to the art community or whatever. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm doing some great thing, but I'm not charging anybody on YouTube here. I don't even know how you would, other than ads, I guess. So anyway, I've been getting trolls. I got a few on the live stream, so if you watch the live stream, you're probably there, and and everybody kind of cracked jokes about it, and then people started getting mad, and they were like, "Can you ban this guy?" or guy, gal, it, whatever it was, troll. And I didn't even know how to do that because I'm like, man, I've never had to deal with something like that. Just to explain what I'm doing here as well, I'm segmenting off the jaw because I want to put a nice little up shadow right there to make the jaw stick out further. So if you're wondering why I just did all this. So yeah, so they're like, you right click on his name and you delete him or it. And I'm like, man, really? I didn't want to because for one, I'm trying to get my live stream going. I thought it was just cool that I had people there watching me draw and create. And but this person was being really vulgar and just idiotic, and it's like, all right, yeah, I guess I have to because I don't want to offend the other people that are nice enough to be participating, and they were all being really cool and stuff. So yeah, I had to ban this troll, and it was just really kind of a weird experience, like I'm sitting there like recounting on it, and I'm like, really? Why is that even necessary? Like, what's going on through someone's mind? I mean, are they just really unhappy with themselves or really bored or both? And just, I don't know. I guess I think about stuff way too much, like most people would probably just go, yeah, whatever, some idiot being an idiot and then move up past it. But I start like reverse thinking about it. Like, well, what am I doing wrong? What did I do to deserve a troll? But I know that's going too far into it. I mean, I can't possibly worry about stuff like that. I mean, you should see some of the negative comments I get on the channel. I got another troll, I guess, in that regard, where they were like, they started bashing me for the stuff that I was producing, and I was like, well, what exactly did I do wrong? Like, what offended you, or what could I do better? Because I'm always trying to improve what I do here. So I always come back first with, well, how can I help you? Is there anything I can do? Would you like a refund? Oh, I didn't charge you, so no, there's no refund. But, I try to like think about what I could do to improve the experience here on YouTube, because it does help me as an artist to do all this. I'm not totally just some giving individual. I mean, I try to be giving, but I do get stuff out of it, so it's a two-way street. You guys help me as much as I help you. It's not me just helping everybody for the sake of helping. I get exposure to my work. I sell the occasional thing through Gumroad, and I get supporters on Patreon. That all kind of comes from YouTube. So it does, one hand washes the other kind of thing. But this person was like, blasting me and saying, well, you shouldn't be doing videos because you don't know what you're doing. And into that, I kind of say, true. I mean, I'm a work in progress over here. I think we all are. I'm not, some big wig in the industries, and, I'm still the unknown guy kind of thing at times, and whatever, I'm okay with that. It's not, I never claimed to be, more than I am, I think, or I hope I don't. I don't mean to if I do. I try to be modest, no, I don't know the word modest, and say that, hey, we're all learning here. Let's all learn together. That's how we grow. And this person was like, you shouldn't be taking the time to put out these videos when they're not accurate and they're um, not as professional maybe as they should be. So, so whatever. I mean, so I took that. I thought about it and I thought about it and I came to the conclusion that yeah, I should stop this channel. And that's the other part of this video that I wanted to let everybody know that this will be my last video, because that person was right and I should give up. And yeah, right, like that would happen. I would never give up based on somebody else telling me that I just wasn't good at something. If that was the case, I think I would have gave up a long time ago at a lot of different things. So yeah, so that's just a ridiculous statement. I'm doing it to get better and to share that journey with everybody that watches. And and I have to say, I'm not trying to brag, but I get probably, I don't know, maybe 10 good comments to every bad one, or maybe 15 or 20. I don't know. I don't count them, but there's definitely more good than there is bad coming out of what we're doing here. And some of them are just really awesome. Some of you guys are just way too nice and just like, tell me that everything's golden and, great job on this, great job on that. And sometimes it probably makes me even a little bit big-headed, where I have to remember, no, I just got to work hard at the art. The compliments are great, but, I can't think I'm there yet. I'm by no means am I there in the regard of, you just have to keep progressing your work. But it's nice to get the compliments. It makes me feel good about what I'm doing here on YouTube. All right, so let me explain a little bit on this painting after my negative rant there, somewhat negative. So if you see, I'm just trying to push out that jaw. Still struggling with it, but one of the cool things about doing this, remember you can always save your selections. So I can just call this jawbone or something. And then I can hit Command-Shift-I and reverse the selection. So now, as I drop that shadow in behind the teeth over here, and I should probably do the shape of the teeth a little bit with the hard edge shadow. So that's why I want to save the selection, because I can go back and work with that. You can actually just copy the jaw itself as well. So let me show you that, because that's kind of neat too. So you can actually just go Command-C, Command-Shift-V, and just paste that jaw. It's floating right in front of that other layer now, so you can work with that as well. You take this jaw, and so it gets the selection out of your way. So you can take this jaw and lock transparency. So now I can come back with a highlight. I'll just take the highlight brush right here, and with a soft airbrush, yeah, very soft brush, and then I'll just punch up a little bit of light source on the front of the teeth here. So again, all I'm doing is trying to really separate the jaw from the lower mandibula, maxilla. I think the top one's a maxilla or something, whatever. So I'm just trying to separate those. So I can punch up a little bit of light source right here, like that. I think that's starting to put a little more depth there. So that's the idea anyways, what I was trying to do. So, and then, by doing these layers, my favorite thing about it, I didn't really do a whole lot there, but if I was to take both of these and toggle them off at the same time, you can see the real difference from, the depth that was created by trying to raise this out. And I'll keep going with that direction. So it's another reason why I suggest always making layers and going forward. You can toggle back and you can delete some as you get too far past it, but you toggle back and see the progress of your work, which is really important. Okay, so let me detail, what I'll do a lot of times, I'll look at this piece and go, okay, what part doesn't look great? I'm still not digging the nose. I'll fix that. Some detail here on the front lip and some detail here on the chin. This chin just looks really boring. All this whole area to me looks blah. Still a lot of it does. I'm not that far into the painting, but I'll just go to this area and do some detail work. So I go back to this layer, And let's keep moving forward. So another thing I like to do when doing a creature paint like this is a lot of just little textures. So I'll throw in some stippling as I go. You can already see some of that in there, and I kind of keep doing that. I also just sometimes grab just the soft round brush too, and I'll grab one of these brighter light source colors, and then I'll just get in here and try to punch up a little bit of light source. What's going on here? Is that part of the jaw? It is. Goodness. And you know what? I got the selection. I'm going to merge these back together. Sheesh. There we go. All right, so I can get some of this light source going, and just trying to still figure out, you know, where do I want some raised areas? So I want some of these parts to look like they're up higher. So I'll put highlights on the front face of those areas, kind of thing. And I usually do like one, I do like one big one going down through here, so it looks like his neck kind of does this, I don't know, veiny, saggy, fleshy thing. So yeah, I'll just paint some of this back and forth like this. Then I'll grab some of the dark right here, and then I'll go on the opposite side of this, and I'll usually start kind of small and just slowly increase the shadow to kind of see it form a little bit. I want to explain this too, because I've had people ask me, like, how do you do wrinkles and folds and clothing and things like that? And it's really, you're just trying to perceive that the form is going like this, something like that, like a lasagna noodle on an angle, I guess. Lasagna. But so you're just doing that, and then you're just softly painting it back and forth. And you know, some areas you're going to paint down, like the edge of this. I'll paint this all the way down so that now this whole little lump kind of recedes back into the distance right there. And you just play around with that and go back and forth with that kind of thing, you know. And then sometimes just get in there and scribble in little lines, because it's how you kind of build up your texture. So I'll get over here and I'll show a little bit of texture, a little bit of separation here. A little shadow under this this vein thing right there. And I love doing paintings like this because there's just no right or wrong way. Like, I don't think any troll is going to pop up on this one and go, man, you just didn't do that troll right, which would be really silly. But if they did, so be it. I guess I'll just have to deal with it. But you know, that's kind of the freedom of doing this type of rendition. It's like, man, you know darn well you've never met this guy or seen, you know, maybe something like it, but from another artist. But there's a certain freedom in just creating just true concept monster fantasy creatures or whatever, because you just can do whatever you want and just have fun with it. So it is a nice feeling, because you know, if you do like a portrait of somebody, I love doing portraits as well, but you know, people will chime in and go, well, you know, that's not so and so's nose, you know, their lips are, you know, more puckered, or they, you know, whatever. They're gonna be able to call you out on that, because you know, they might really like that actor or actress and they identify with them really well, so they're going to be able to pick out things. So be ready for that if you're trying to be a portraiture artist. I'd have it even happen when I did caricatures. People would, you know, well, that's you know, that caricature's a little off. It's like, man, it's a distorted picture of that person, but it's still not right. It just happens. Part of being an artist, I guess. People are gonna down your work, and then some people are gonna love it. All right, so you know, you see I'm trying to get a little bit more detail in there. And again, if I toggle on and off the previous layer, I can see if it's starting to take shape, which I think it is. And then the other way to kind of work with this is the dodge tool. And you can just punch up some quick light sources on the front of the jaw there. You can make the brush really small and just do like the little specular highlights kind of thing. Get some of those in there. I almost want this character to look pretty, if you haven't noticed, pretty greasy and grimy or whatever. Wet, slippery monster. So something like that. And I just, again, just kind of play with this, and I can texture with this as well, just to kind of keep adding little details in there. Probably do some of that over here too while I got the brush. And this is really all I do. I just keep repeating this process of building up and painting back, and that's it. You know, just keep trying to find things in the work. That's what's kind of neat about this, because as you're painting this way, certain things will just kind of start to appear, you know, through the buildup of the texture. And then I think I want to add a bit of a stronger light source right on the very edge of the eye here. I think that looks cool. We'll see. Just tell you what, I might actually just add some of this in with the highlight brush and then switch to painting it. I've been doing this more too as well, where I'll use the highlight brush to find the light source. So let's say, I don't know. It's real easy to overdo it with this brush, so you got to be careful. And then I'll take the paintbrush and let's take the stipple painter. Just paint in some of that edge lighting. So yeah, these are fun to do. Like, I always look at paintings like this like they're a way to like blow off steam and just relax, you know, because again, there's no right or wrong way, so that's kind of a nice freedom in that. And they're just fun to do. I mean, all digital painting is fun to me, but these ones are really fun. And you can get really fast at these. And sorry, that's something else I wanted to address while I catch you guys here. As far as speed goes, one of the reasons why you can do something like this so fast is because if you really just look at it like you're scribbling in texture and you're just blocking in larger shapes of shadow, and then coming back and finalizing the detail at the very end, like I'm doing here. This is more like the rendering stage where I'm trying to get in little bits of detail and texture. But I've got a lot of preliminary stuff down that makes this part easy now. And that's kind of what I wanted to address. Like, just try going in there and hitting everything with a very large brush at first, and then filling in the shape, and then, you know, and still coming out with a large brush and doing your main parts of your texture work and things like that. And then just really waiting to the very end to do what we're doing here, and that's the finish work and the final rendering. And, you know, I know it sounds very like, duh, what else would you do? But it's I think that we get caught up so much into detailing early on in the painting that's what really slows it down. So if you do that work from big to small, and just really, you know, get as much down. Put it this way, like if you work from back here, you'll notice your highlights, the correctness or incorrectness of your highlights will stand out better. So try to think in that regard. Like, don't pull into here and start detailing until you got as much as you can get in from this distance, and you'll probably get a lot better painting. Let's see, is that even do anything? Yeah, a little bit. Oh, I've got the exposure pretty low, that's why. So again, this is a way for me to texture, so I'm taking the dodge tool, set the mid-tone, and with one of my stipple brushes, this is one I call rippled glass. So I'll show you the effect over here so you can see what it looks like. So it's also one that I like for skin tones and things like that. So I'll just go in with that, set to mid-tone, just get a little bit more variation of texture and shading at the same time. Just brushes like this just help to give everything a more random effect. Alright, so what else? What else can we do to this little beastie? Probably just a little bit of highlight off the cheek there, just right up here, I think will look cool. So I'll try the same yellow thing I was doing. I'm just starting off very light. And this is, again, one of the reasons why I think it's so helpful to get that brush where it just barely puts down paint until you really bear down like that. Because you can just slowly kind of see things evolve as you're painting it. I don't think I like that highlight right there. It's like all these highlights everywhere, and it's like, I don't like that one. That one bothers me. Yeah, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I just kind of keep repeating this process. And oh, I guess one last thing I can do, since I'll probably keep working on this, but I know if these videos get too long, they just get boring for everybody. So let's go select, load selection, click jawbone. And I can even do this with a different layer to check the work first. So I'll grab like a really dark version of any of these colors, I guess. But then I'll grab the chalk brush. And the light source is coming from the front of the face. So let's just take and do like this hard edge shadow of the teeth. Like this. And one of these things that you can do right here is just overdo it. Like just block it in. So this is kind of a neat little effect that I like doing. So I can just get in these shadows from the teeth really quickly, really direct to the viewer that, and this one's a little off, but I'll be fine. Really direct to the viewer that there's this, that the jaw is pretty far away from, that the lower jaw is pretty far away from the other part of the face. So I'll just do this, and you can even block in some other shadows while you're here. It's not going to hurt anything. I'm always open for experimenting and trying as much as I can with each layer that I put in place. So now let's pan back and check it. I mean, it doesn't look bad solid like that, but then we can drop the selection and we can drop the opacity. We can also play with the blending modes, but I'm thinking just something like that where it looks more like a natural drop shadow. And then you can even throw a quick little blur on it if you don't want as hard of an edge. So that's another good way to introduce shadows. And at the same time, I could probably do something right here because this is supposed to be his shoulder up closer to camera. So I'll select the shoulder, select, save selection, shoulder, like that. I can do two things. I can hit Command-Shift-I, invert the selection. I'm still on that added layer. I'll do a little bit of separation with this shadow. I can kind of paint this in pretty heavily right there. But again, I'm just trying to get a little bit of that separation from his shoulder to his face, neck area, whatever that is. Invert the selection again. Maybe go back to this highlight color that I was using. And then just get a little bit of that right on the very edge here. And maybe even just a brighter highlight, even though this is going to be toned down because I dropped the opacity. So I could even add another layer if I really want to make this pop out more. Let me pan back and see if that helped or hurt. And I think that, yeah, added a little bit more depth on that shoulder. So it's really just, incremental changes like that all throughout the piece that end up, making it work or not work or whatever. So So yeah, so that's about it. Hopefully that's giving you some insight. I'll probably keep dinking with this thing for a little bit, and then you know, when it's done, I'll either post it on my Instagram or my Facebook or Deviant or maybe all of the above, whatever, you know. So yeah, I thank you guys for watching. Let me, you know, say or finish this with, you know, keep in mind that I do have a Gumroad that has more detailed tutorials. That also helps me support doing the work that I do. And then I also have a Patreon page that allows me to get support for the work that I do here in the comic and things like that, and just keep making art. So if you can, cool. And I always appreciate you watching here on the channel. And as always, thanks very much for stopping by. Keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.